Again, audience, you are tuned into one place, one voice. This is where Liberians meet other nationalities around the continent of Africa to promote nothing but peace, love, and unity. Tonight with me, I got a very awesome gentleman. I think you know him already. This, young man is a very, very uh, uh, a man that work in our community, work for his people, giving information to his people all the time. So tonight I invited him to make some clarification. I know our people that live in New York City, they want to get some clear clarification of what's going on with the dual citizenship thing. We see people asking question, and brother Wetty, he is a he's like a brother, in our community that been working very hard, on this dual citizenship. So I believe tonight he's going to making some clarification tonight. I just want to take this time to see if he's online. Brother Wetty, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm online, and it's an honor to be on your show.
Very good, very good. How the weather over there, man?
It's very cool. It's very cool. In fact, we had snow yesterday.
Oh wow, 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 wow! In the year, the same thing, man. So again, audience, we will be going on a commercial break. As soon as we come back, we'll give chance to our brother to introduce himself to us, and then we'll start the show. We're going to be here for 1 hour. So if you have any question in the middle of the show, you can definitely ask a question. But we got a strict policy. We don't insult on this platform because it is a registered platform in New York City. We invite brothers and sisters to exchange idea. Yeah, welcome to disagree or agree or make any comment. But we just don't, give any insulting words on the platform. It's a strict policy. If you do that, automatically you are out of this platform forever. So we just want to make sure that you know those policies because it's very important. We just have our our brother just joined the studio. But as soon as see it, I can see him. But I see, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Very good, very good. Thank you so much for joining us into the studio One Place, One Voice. So we just again, audience, we'll be taking a break. When we come back, we'll give chance to our brothers to make introductions. So again, just stay tuned. We'll be right back. He's online. I don't, Yeah, thank you very much. All right. Okay, again, audience, we're so sorry for the inconvenience. We had some late technical problem. We have our other host were trying to join into the studio, so we had a late problem. We're very sorry, but we are back now. Again, you are tuned to One Play One Voice. Brother C just joined us. See, are you there? You hear me loud and clear?
I am hearing you loud and clear, James.
Very good, very good, very good. So we'll give time to our brothers to introduce themselves. Brother C going to be my co-host tonight, and we have our brother here, Witte. We're going to be answering some questions and making some clarification for the dual citizenship, tonight. So this time we'll give chance to my co-host to just introduce himself, and then from there we'll go over to our brother Witte. See it? The microphone is yours now.
James, thank you. And thank you. And my name is Anthony Sie, co-hosting here tonight. And the platform here is One Place, One Voice. We have the opportunity to have Mr. Emmanuel Wetty. We know Mr. Wetty to be an advocate for the dual citizenship. Mr. Wetty, again, welcome to One Place, One Voice.
Thank you, Brother C. Always good to be in your presence. I know a couple of weeks ago we were on another show together.
Yeah.
But it's always good to be talking about our people. My name is Emmanuel S. Wetty. I'm the chairman of the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. This conference comprises of EULA, AFLA, Colosua, the Concerned Liberian Association, the Liberians in Ghana, and the Liberians in Australia. In 2012, we organized this conference, sole purpose to advocate for dual citizenship. And I'm happy to be the chairman for that conference, but I'm not the highest. The partners, EULA and other people are the partners. So I do represent the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship that comprises of other diaspora organizations.
All right. Thank you so much for that clear introduction. Brother CA, we say thank you, Mr. Wetted, for that clear introduction. But Wetted, it's very, it's a pleasure to have you on the show tonight at One Place, One Voice, bringing back our African tradition to the USA. Let's unite. It's our African connection. Again, we are here tonight to give some clarification. If you want to call audience, you are welcome to call. Like I told you previously, we got a strict policy on this platform. It is a regular platform, so we keep it that way. There is no insult. Just know that when I see insult, that means you are automatically out. It's just a policy. I gotta make sure you know it. But we can agree and disagree. And we give our clarification or whatever suggestion we have, we will be given the chance to do that through writing or through a conversation. But there's no insult. With that said, again, we want to say it's an honor, Mr. Emmanuel S. Wetty, to invite you into the studio, One Place, One Voice. So I will turn the microphone over to Anthony C., who will start the program, and then from there we can go through. Thank you.
Thank you, James. And against folks in cyberspace, this is One Place, One Voice. Again, we have Mr. Wetty. Mr. Wetty, the issue of the dual citizenship is a hot topic now. You've been advocating for dual citizenship for so long, and emotion tries to set in anytime this topic comes up. And very recently, the Liberal legislature was able to agree on something. Other people call it a bill, other people call it a proposal. And our understanding is that it has been signed by the president, and all is set for it to be voted in a referendum next election. If it is voted yes, then we will have something that we can legally call a dual citizenship law. Until then, your argument is that we don't have anything like a bill or law for dual citizenship. We don't have it. And so you are saying that at least we should be happy with what we have. But the argument here is that other people feel that they are Liberians, and they should maintain their Liberian citizenship no matter what, meaning that they should not be restricted. Can you make your position definitely clear to our audience?
Thank you, Brother Sears. I do appreciate the opportunity to make ourselves very clear on this issue. At this point in time, which is the 13th of November, within the Republic of Liberia, we do not have what you want to consider dual citizenship. We do not. Our Constitution is very silent on the issue of dual citizenship. If you look at the chapter 4, Article 27 of the Constitution, it says that if you are born to one parent who's a Liberian, you can declare your Liberian citizenship at the age of maturity. So where do you do that? If your child, if you're in Japan or you're somewhere on the island and you have a child at the age of maturity, that child needs to go to the embassy and say, I'm a Liberian. If not, the child is not a Liberian. So some people argue that until the age of maturity, you have dual citizenship. Okay, we can accept that. But what is after maturity, there's no dual citizenship. So our Constitution is very, very silent on the issue of dual citizenship. But then people ask a question: if the Constitution, which is the organic law of the land, is silent on dual citizenship, then what is the issue? The issue here is that it's the 1974 Alien and Nationality Law, section 22.1. It says that if you naturalize in another country, if you voted in another country and you fought war in another country, or you renounce your Liberian citizenship, you are no longer a Liberian, period. That's the law. So based on the Alien and Nationality Law, we do not have dual citizenship in Liberia. Now, what some of us don't understand is that the current Alien and Nationality Law gave you no opportunity to serve in government. If you are appointed, it doesn't matter what kind of skills you have, what skill level you have, the level of degree. If you are appointed a minister, if you are appointed any position, and you submit your name to the Senate for confirmation hearing, the very moment you say that you have an American passport, you have a British passport, Australian passport, or Canadian passport, at that moment you are disqualified. We saw that in 2014. In 2014, Dr. Elizabeth Davis was appointed Minister of Education by then President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And she was asked the question whether she had an American passport. She said yes. And the Liberian Senate immediately cut off the confirmation hearing she got. Our law says that you cannot be appointed if you have an American passport because you are not a Liberian. So, like you mentioned, we've been advocating this thing almost 10 plus years. Not until that in the early days, the later part of October, we want to say thanks to the President George Weah, Vanish Sherman, and other members, in the House and Senate, Darius Dillon, Comini Wiese, just to name a few. I'm not going to go down the list, but just to name a few. And Matthias Green and everybody, but they put rally around to make sure that the law was changed. Now, so what happened in October? According to Article 91 of our Constitution, you can amend the Constitution through referendum. So on the 1st of October, the House of Representatives in Liberia concurred with the Liberian Senate on propositions that will be put for referendum next October. And that proposition was signed by the president on the 4th of October. On the 8th of October, it was published that this would be the official proposition for next year, coming next year election. Some of our colleagues in the diaspora do not like the fact that there are restrictions in the proposition. Their argument is that no, we shouldn't take any restriction. Let me be clear for the record. Except the state of Israel, I am not aware of any country that have dual citizenship that do not have restrictions. I know Ghana has restrictions, Nigeria got one, Sierra Leone got one, just to name a few. Currently, when you naturalize in another country, you are not a Liberian. And because you are not a Liberian, you are not entitled to land ownership. You are not entitled to anything in Liberia because you are not a Liberian. But the new law will first restore our Liberian citizenship. That is a plus. We'll regain our Liberian citizenship. We'll be able to own land in the country. A woman in Liberia will be able to pass a citizenship over to a child. Now, the restriction people are talking about are just few restrictions. You can't be senator, you can't be representative, you can't be president, and you can't be vice president. You cannot be minister or deputy minister. Give me a break. There are 21 ministerial positions. How many of us can be ministers? But at least let us get our foot in the door. Let us accept this law. This law is better than the current one. And as we go along gradually, we're going to adjust and we're going to make the necessary correction. But for now, I want to appeal to all Liberians and friends of ours that this proposition one, come referendum 2020, is our best option. Let us accept it, and as time goes by, we can make the necessary adjustment. Because currently, we do not have anything, the current law.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wetty. Let us leave it there for now. Folks in cyberspace, again, this is One Place, One Voice. My name is Anthony here. I am co-hosting here tonight. And the gentleman you see on the screen there is Mr. Jin Ohan, the executive director and host here at One Place, One Voice. Mr. Wetty, you made it clear. You explained where you stand. You explained how we got here. You explained the restrictions. You explained the limitations there are, given the way the Constitution is. And so now we are about to go into the nitty-gritty of all of the explanations you have provided. We will be looking at where people have concerns, where people have disagreement. And so we are going to go into an interactive section. For now, let's start with the issue of Liberians forfeiting their Liberian citizenship upon obtaining citizenship of another country. It is one of the places of contention. There are some Liberians who argue that in our Constitution, the Constitution said that if you are a natural born Liberian, you remain a Liberian. That is the argument. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just sharing with you what is some people's argument. They are saying that the fact that they were born a Liberian, they remain a Liberian even if they obtain citizenship of another country. They also argue further, there is a word in the Constitution that said that as a Liberian, all the rights and privileges provided in the Constitution, you are entitled to them because there's something they call inalienable right. Where do you stand on that? Because your argument here is that once you obtain citizenship of another country, you're now a Liberian, you cease to be a Liberian, and they are saying everything about me is completely Liberian. And is your argument legal, moral? Explain to our listeners.
My argument is legal.
Mhm.
You know, it is very interesting that we feel that way, and I do understand. I do understand. I mean, I can relate to that. Emotionally, you feel attached to the country of your birth. That's correct. But the laws on the books, it's not what you think, it's not what you feel. But we are talking about the law. It is very clear. If you look at the 1974 Alien and Nationality Law, section 22.1, it's very, very clear. Very clear. If you obtain citizenship in another country, you are not a Liberian. You cease to be a Liberian. If you fought war for another country, you are not a Liberian. If you voted in another country, you are not a Liberian. If you renounce your Liberian citizenship, you are not a Liberian. That's the law. And we saw the law in 2014 when Dr. Elizabeth Davis was appointed Minister of Education and she went for confirmation hearing. They asked her a question. Do you have an American passport? She said, yes. Immediately, the Liberian Senate stopped the confirmation hearing because she's not a Liberian. So our people feeling and thinking that they are Liberian after the natural law, that's their right. But legally, no, they are not. And they know that. They know that. They know that when they travel, they know how to get visa. They know when they enter the country, they know how they are referred to. They know that.
All right, Mr.
So
Wati, the other argument is that, we Liberians, we Liberians, we are culturally attached, you well know, to our country. And the emotional aspect you are talking about is that, so my brother Wati is telling me now that I am not a Liberian. He and I went to the same school. We went in the butchers together to cut palm. And now he's telling me I'm not a Liberian. Even the white man where I obtained citizenship and carrying the passport, anytime I open my mouth, they are telling me, where you from?
I know, right?
Where you from? And so for this legal thing to have denied me of all the rights that come with a Liberian citizenship, I don't want to take that. And how do you explain that to somebody like that? Because they don't want to listen to your legal argument.
No, I agree. I agree.
But wait just before you come in, I mean,
Okay.
I want to add on what my brother said because to be honest with you, when I tell people that somebody they laugh at me and they think that I'm joking because there is a thing. I know you keep saying it is a law, it is a law, it is a law, but what? I mean, do you really think people in Liberia really following the law? Because I can tell you that there are many people in Liberia that are head of an institution that do have a naturalized citizen, in the U.S. or other places, and they still hold position into the government. I can tell you that up front because I know. Now, for me, this is what I tell people. I never felt that way that I would never be a Liberian, no matter where I go and naturalize my citizenship, because I believe I was born and raised in the country. Now, even though this clause said a natural born citizen of Liberia may hold the citizenship of another country but shall not qualify for the elected positions and the following appointment as follows: Chief Justice and Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, cabinet ministers, deputy ministers, all head of autonomous commissions, including agency and non-academic research, scientific institution, etc., etc. Now, I don't feel that way, by the way. To be honest with you, I mean, I can tell you this because I know they're just coming up to make it official and then adding all the bad clause into it and restricting us as Liberian when you were born on the soil. Okay, yeah, I agree that you can go somewhere and renounce your citizenship. I understand that you can naturalize, but let be honest. I mean, God, you are born on the soil of Liberia. So how do you? I mean, how you gonna feel? Now that it came out that, oh, you gotta have the referendum 2020 to see, to see if the Liberian people will accept it. I'll be honest. When I go Liberia, I don't feel like I am not a Liberian. And I can tell anybody, if you challenge me, I am going to fight my case. I'm going to win. But again, I, because a lot of people, calling me and telling me that, I mean, why do we restrict them? That's the problem they have. I mean, I agree with you when you said earlier there. I mean, there's no dual citizenship. I don't have a restriction. But why Liberia should restrict us that way? Only because we want a citizenship on a paper? Is that why? Just to add, my brother, be clear to us.
All right. I do understand your concern on the restriction, but let drop the proposition. What do you have right now as we speak? What do you have right now?
Well,
laws in the books.
To be honest with you,
right now, as we speak, today is November the 13th, 2019. It is about 9:38 Eastern Standard Time in Columbus, Ohio. As we speak right now, what do you have? The current law that you have on the book, the current law does not recognize you to even hold an elected or appointed position.
Okay.
Period. So the current law that you have right now while we're on this show, because of the current law, Dr. Elizabeth David was denied Minister of Education. Because of the current law, the chairman of the Election Commission, Kukoyan, citizenship was challenged in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court rejected because those that submitted the complaint could not prove the case. Because of the current law, when Liberians that have the necessary skills go for confirmation hearing, they are denied or rejected because of their Liberian citizenship.
Sure.
But because of the current law, Liberians cannot own property if they are naturalized in another country. Because of the current law, a woman cannot pass her citizenship over to a child. We are speaking about the current law. At this point, at this time.
But let me ask you a question.
Because of the current law, Liberians who naturalized in another country cannot vote. They cannot participate in the political process of the country they are born in. Look, now, the new law.
Yes.
You see, we all should understand it is not your emotional feeling cannot supersede legal laws. The way you think, the way you feel, may not be right in the eyes of the law. And some people feel that, well, Liberia is a country, laws are not implemented. But I can tell you the truth. If they don't want you to apply the law, we saw that with Kukoyan. When they got ready for him, they took in the Supreme Court to prove that you were not an American citizen. You know, every election in Liberia, President Weah was accused of being a French citizen. President Eddie Johnson said he was accused of being an American citizen. Every time there's elections in Liberia, the issue come out. The law exists. The law exists. It is only silent when nobody want to use it on you. So we are saying that, look, let us regain our Liberian citizenship. The thing is a process, another event. So with the new proposition, and we are appealing to all diaspora Liberian, we will regain our Liberian citizenship. We will have the right to land ownership. A woman will have the right to pass a citizenship over to a child. These are gradual steps. These are gradual steps. Currently, we don't have that.
Mr. Wetty.
Yes.
Do you understand that when it comes to the citizenship thing, the moral argument, the cultural argument supersedes the legal argument? Do you understand that?
I tell you the truth, and let us be able to educate our people. There is nothing above the law.
I agree, but I was just asking
our people, you know, it's about time. Yes, I do understand, and I'm very sensitive to that. But we that are aware need to educate our people. It is not what we think culturally.
I agree with you.
Culturally, what we feel culturally cannot supersede the legal ban, because the legal attributes of a country is the one that guide each and every one of us. So,
and I believe in a law, but let us understand that Martin Luther King said that if the law is not just, it is as equal as injustice can be. I'm paraphrasing him, meaning that if there are laws on the book and those laws are themselves are unjust, then what makes them to be laws anyway? So Martin Luther King, in his argument, led his people and the protested and marched against unjust laws against blacks in this country. The point I'm coming to is that for some of us, we feel that it is unjust for our natural born citizenship rights to be denied, stripped, or for us to forfeit them, all because we make a decision to acquire the citizenship of another country. And yes, the other part, Mr. Wetty, Israel, you say here, is the only country in the world that have done it.
Right.
Their culture is strong just as Liberia. So if Israel has done it and it's working, what is wrong with us doing it that way?
Okay, good question. Let's come back. Let's come back to Liberia. Let's come back to Liberia. Currently, you see, people should not talk about they always make the argument on the preposition. They can't explain what they have right now. What do you have right now? What do you have right now on the books? You cannot be anything in Liberia.
Well, I don't feel like I have nothing in Liberia because I've been going to Liberia.
No. I didn't say that, sir.
Okay.
I said you cannot be an elected officer. You cannot be appointed in any position if you naturalize right now as we speak. If you go in for the Liberian Senate and they ask you a question, you have an American passport and you say yes, the Senate will not confirm you.
No, I know, because you say yes, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So the current law is, gave you nothing. It gave you absolutely nothing.
I agree with your argument.
I'm coming on now.
All right,
so currently, as we speak, you got nothing. So the proposition allows you to hold something. But let's come to the state of Israel. We all know the biblical and histories. Most of the Jews left the country. They all left the country. And returning, they created the state of Israel. So therefore, logically, it makes sense for the issue of dual citizenship to be mute. Because those that fell in the country all came from the way, unlike Liberia. So what we're seeing here is this. And we have to be honest. We have to be honest with each other. Liberia is a country of law.
Mr. Wati, before you go to Liberia,
not because someone is not implementing that law, you think it's okay. But wait and see. See how they treated Kokoyan, the last election. See how they treated Dr. Elizabeth Davis. See how much they treated President Ellen Johnson during the campaign. You saw how they treated Josh Oponwia. During election season, the argument comes about, are you an American? Are you a French citizen? So every time there's elections in Liberia, that's what the tools they use. So people should begin to understand that the laws are on the book. It just takes somebody to implement the law. And before I let you come in and you don't come in, we should all agree to this point. Your feelings cannot supersede what is legal. Your feelings, the way you think emotionally, cannot supersede the law. The laws are made to guide us. And people speak of this law. Remember, in 1986, the Constitution said that to be president of Liberia, you must have resided in the country for 10 years. Is that not discrimination? Why don't we see that in the Constitution? It is written.
Mr. Wati, that clause you are talking about, this is my understanding. The Constitution said to become president of Liberia, you must have lived in Liberia 10 years prior to your election.
Yes.
It did not say 10 years immediately.
That's correct.
Prior. The Constitution did not say that. So here is the case. Using myself as an example. Mm-hmm. Let's say I was born in Liberia, 1976. By the time I turned 11 years, I moved out of Liberia.
That's correct.
That is 10 years prior. So when I live in America, 50 years later, I can go to Liberia and compare because I have met that constitutional requirement. The confusion with that clause is that people are assuming that when they say 10 years prior to election, they are thinking that it is just like 10 years before the election. It's not.
No. That's not the point I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not seeing the point.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the issue of whether it's consecutive.
So if you to add, let me interrupt you a little bit to add. You understand? So it means that in as much as you also meet the constitutional requirement of age 35 for the presidency, every Liberian, you know what I'm saying, who have lived in Liberia 10 years after their birth, you know what I'm saying, is qualified to run for the presidency. So it does not restrict people at all. The only people it restrict will be somebody.
I think you carrying it off. The point I'm making to you here is there are some restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point I'm making to you.
Yeah, but you are trying to say that is a restriction, and you are trying to equate it to the restriction that are in this particular proposal.
Correct. That's correct. No. Restriction are restriction. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying to you. Mm-hmm. You know, restriction are restriction. In our Constitution, there are restrictions. Now, let's get this right. Let's look at what we have currently. The argument you guys are pushing is the proposed. But then you are forgetting what you have currently. What do you have currently? The laws that you have right now. Can the law make you minister? Can the law make you deputy minister? Can the law make you superintendent? Can that law elect you to be an elected officer of your county or your district? Can it make you to be representative?
But what you have right now. Wait, you asked that question. But there are people that in let me interrupt you. There are people that in Liberia that have such a status, that have a naturalized citizenship, and they stay in such a position. Then what is the connotation? Can you clarify that? Why is it like that?
Okay, let me say one thing to you. Mm-hmm. To the best of my knowledge, I'm not aware of any Liberian that have come up and displayed that they are a citizen of another country and was elected or appointed. I'm not aware.
What's about contesting? Because you should not contest.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. As we speak right now, I'm not aware of any Liberian that have stated that they are holder of another citizenship, that ran for position, appointed, elected. I'm not aware.
Oh, so that means you are telling us that, as long as they ask you a question that you have a citizenship in another country, when you say yes, you will not be elected, or you will not be taken for the position. But if you remain silent,
no, you're not be qualified. Period.
Okay, that means when you remain silent, then of course you go through the process. Because
go
ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah. Let be frank. Let be frank. When we come on this platform,
yes,
our advocacy is based on the law.
Exactly.
That's what we're saying.
And I understand.
Yeah, so people can, whether you choose to be silent, whether you choose to use other machinery or any process, it's up to you. But our advocacy is based on the law.
I got you.
Yeah, that's it. And we are speaking about the law.
Go ahead,
what we
I got you.
Ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Wati, let's leave it there. We've been more on the moral, and the legal aspect. And my conclusion here is that, and you agree with me, that you understand the emotion attached to it, given our culture. There's no one, you are saying you agree with me that traditionally, culturally, you cannot deny anybody of their cultural and traditional attachment to their place of birth. You can't do that. But your argument is that this is about law.
That's correct.
In the eyes of the law, no one is above the law.
That's what he's
And
saying.
your
Yes,
argument is
I got
that
it.
the way the Liberian Constitution is, when you obtain citizenship of another country, you automatically cease to be a Liberian. And that is your argument. And we understand that. But my argument is that that is unjust. But there are some legal scholars, Councilor Frederick Jewett is arguing that that is even unconstitutional, because he argues that any law, any provision in the country of Liberia that that violates the Constitution, that is also unconstitutional. But I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
No. I mean, let me support what you're saying. Let me support what you're saying. Let me support what you're saying. Yes, I agree with you. Emotionally, psychologically, I feel I'm a Liberian. Now, yes, we ourselves have challenged the law. March of 2017, Councilor Cyril Cooper represented Jalo at the Supreme Court, where we challenged the constitutionality of the 1974 Alien and Nationality Law. Yes, we did that. So yeah, you are correct. We believe that the Alien and Nationality Law is inconsistent with the Constitution. However, the only organ of the government that can really explain that is the Supreme Court. And right now, as we're speaking, the Supreme Court have not made any decision on that. So yes, I mean, we agree the law is not fair. And let me just for the record, we ourselves are not, some of our people and we ourselves are not happy with all of the restrictions, but we believe that it's something that we can work with. We believe that it's a baby step and we'll gradually get there. This thing is not an event, it's a process. So I agree with you, the emotional aspect for the culture, and I agree with you. We all have that feeling, but in the eyes of the law, and that's why we are advocates should speak about that. What
Thank you, Mr. Wetty. That was the voice of Mr. Emmanuel Wetty, an advocate for dual citizenship in Liberia. He has been on this journey for over 10 years now, and now that we have a proposition that has been signed by the president and will be on the ballot next year for Liberians to vote on in a referendum, he's saying that at least we have taken a step forward, and he is encouraging Liberians to sign on that particular proposition, so that at least we can regain some of our rights as Liberian citizens.
That's right.
Mr. Wetty seems to be one of few Liberians who agree with that. And that is the other segment we are about to go to. So, folks, if you are still with us here in cyberspace, this is One Place, One Voice. I'm co-hosting here with Mr. James Nohan, the Executive Director of One Place, One Voice. Mr. Wetty, let's go into this restriction. This is the part some Liberians are saying, really? Now, you are about to recognize me legally as a Liberian citizen despite my citizenship of another country, and you have to restrict me? Then what kind of Liberian that you are trying to make me? In the first place, they ask you, who are you to determine whether or not I should be a Liberian or I am a Liberian? So here's the thing. If this proposition is to restore our status as Liberian or our nationality as Liberian, why we cannot also regain all of the rights and privileges that come along with being a Liberian, but you have to restrict. What is the rationale? What is the idea?
The idea. That's right.
Well, brother, CA, thank you very much. Let's say something that we all are missing, and maybe I myself not promoting. The proposition also says that if you want to hold an elected position, if you want to be a minister, you can go and naturalize and give away your other citizenship and regain your Liberian citizenship, and you can be elected. That's what it says. So if I want to be senator of Asano County, and if I want to be senator of Asano County, and if I hold a passport of another country, I should go and naturalize to be a Liberian, then I will be qualified. So you have that right.
So you are arguing that it is fair to Liberians who have citizenship of another country.
Yeah. So if you have your political ambition, if you have your political goal, then there's a path for you. So the law is not just cutting you off. It gives those that want to go through politics a path. Those that want to be a private citizen a path. So you are not just restricted. There is an option for you. But Brother C, I just want to say one thing.
Okay.
Of everything, what is most important is for me to regain my Liberian citizenship. That's the most important thing. The government job, the other thing that comes forward. If I regain my Liberian citizenship, there are a lot of things I can do in the private sector. I can own a land, which is very important. I can own a land. So regaining our Liberian citizenship is the key of the entire process. And also the right of a woman to be able to pass a citizenship over to a child. It's another key factor in this thing. So let us not dwell on this job. Yes, I understand the emotional thing. Remember, how many cabinet ministers do we have? I think it's 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21. So only 21 persons can be minister, cabinet ministers. The rest of you
are talking about cabinet minister proper in this case, correct?
Yeah, proper. Yeah, minister. That's what I'm talking about. So you have a population of 4.7 million. Only 21 people can be cabinet minister at the time. You know, but
Mr. Wetty, I think the argument is that if you intend, sorry for bringing you back, but this is very important.
Yes.
If you intend to be good, to be reconciliatory, how come in your attempt to be reconciliatory, to allow me to regain my Liberian citizenship, bring about restrictions that are discriminatory? Because if you say you are a Liberian, but that but does not equate me to be a full Liberian. It's like I'm a half Liberian. Because the thing is that John is a Liberian. He can run for any office that he wants. But I can't. Or because I left my country some time ago, maybe because of war, maybe because I wanted to get education and travel. And then I'm getting my Liberian citizenship back legally, and then I am restricted. But I don't know.
I can. Let me come in on this.
It's very complicated.
Yeah. The first thing is this. You know, don't look at that path. Look at what you have right now.
Okay.
Right now, you cannot be. You cannot be a minister. You cannot be a deputy minister. You can't run. You're not even a Liberian. Period. Let's get that part. So even right now, as we speak, right now, you're now a Liberian.
Okay.
So first thing, that's what we're saying. It's a gradual process. This is not an event, it's a process. So let's take, for example, let's be honest and let's talk. Your Minister of Defense has two passports. He has a British passport and a Liberian passport. The Minister of Defense, the senator that represents your county, has a Canadian passport and a Liberian passport. Is that what you're seeing? So the thing is that there are some that look in this business of advocacy, and let me just say something to you. When we started this whole process in 2012 and before, we wanted no restriction. We said no, we are Liberian and we always remain Liberian. In 2013, when we traveled to Liberia, we met the students, the market people, we met the ordinary people, we went to all the some of the intellectual center, we met government officials, and it took a pure blank that you guys need to have some restrictions. Everybody have restrictions. Ghana got restrictions. Nigeria got restrictions. Guinea got restrictions. Seldom got restrictions. They said we need to have some restrictions. Some restrictions on this thing. We came back, we regrouped. And we lifted some of the restrictions, and they accepted some, they don't accept some. But the key thing is this. Let me come back to this thing. You are not recognized as a Liberian right now as we speak. You are now a Liberian. You cannot
Legally
own
speaking.
anything. Yeah,
Legally
right now.
speaking.
Legally speaking, you are now, yeah, legally speaking, you are now a Liberian. So if the law passes, you regain your Liberian citizenship. That is better than having nothing. Then you can regain your right to land ownership. That is better than having a third party to purchase your land. So,
Well, well,
despite the fact that we have concern, we
Mm.
want to appeal to our people that this proposition is better than what we have, and want the appeal to our people to accept it. And as time go by, we can adjust, we can make the necessary correction.
Mr.
but I see it.
Wetty.
But I see it. Let me just come in a little bit
Okay.
before we take our little break. Again, audience, you are welcome to One Place One Voice. There is where Liberian meet other nationalities around the continent of Africa to promote peace, love, and unity, bringing back our African tradition to America. Let's unite this upper African connection. Again, by the way, before we go on a short break, musical break, I just want to say this. They got a saying that say, "Give the man his flower while he still live." I have watched our brother Emmanuel as Witter, very, 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 standing on what he has worked for a very long time, put his energy along with his team, going to Liberia, spending resources and trying to do a lot of research just for us to reach this day. Now, let me be honest. For the audience, I know the audience watching me, I want to say this, and they know that I always said it that no one can dictate to me whether I am a Liberian or not, because I believe I was born in Liberia and raised before I traveled due to the Civil War. So I strongly believe I am a Liberian. But having sat and heard our brother Wete for a very long period of time on his advocacy, I want to take this time to give him his flower. I want to officially say it from me to you because people say I'm very, very technical. I'm very, very complicated. Yes, there's a reason why I'm complicated, but I want to take this time to really salute you, but Wete, for because I'm really getting to understand where your points are. When you gave your feedback, something you said that not that it convinced me altogether, but it kind of like brought me on the human side. Like, okay, I'm seeing where he going. He not just saying, okay, you know what, folks, let's take this and run with it. There is a stepping stone, but he also recognized our people emotions, based on the fact that there are a lot of bad clause that got to do with the natural born citizen of Liberia. Uh, he recognized the emotion of our people, and I want to salute him for that. And I also want to take this time to say, Brother Wete, thank you for your hard work. Because when you specify and when you said in the law eyes, so you are speaking strictly from the law point of view, and I salute you for that. Because I want to do that. I keep with people like, you know what? No one can tell me that I am not a Liberian, and no one can write paperwork and say they're going to restrict me for being someone in Liberia. But having sat and listened to you, I can see your point. You are speaking from the law perspective, and you're trying to believe in your law of the land. But I also want to make this clear because we are heading up for a new Liberia. I want to be strong, strong, strong advocate for children back home in Liberia, and I stand firm. Not only that I advocate for them, but I also go almost every 2 3 years back home in Liberia, just to feed our children, just to see how we can come up with a good policy in the country for our children to go to school free in Liberia. And I'm because I believe that I'm an educator in New York City for 14 years, so I strongly believe that our children of Liberia should be in school. But with our current situation, we all pray and hope that we have a better Liberia. But But Wetty, I want to take, I want to say thank you so much for all the hard work. Don't think your hard work is in vain. We just want to make sure that we do this, for our people to understand where we're driving at. But we really appreciate what you have done up to this time. So when we asking you question, we asking you because we want our people to be clear. Because, like I said, there are a lot of emotion going on. There are a lot of thinking going on. People conceptualizing things in a different manner. So I think this is very important, especially in New York City, that you came here tonight to make some clarification. With that said. I know our brother Aswani have some question to have you. So we got
go ahead. Okay, brother, see, go ahead. I will copy it down.
Yeah. But before brother Sia come in, I just want to have a little short musical break. And when we come in, we'll turn the mic over to brother Sia. We want to ask some question. We got a lot of things going on in Liberia tonight. I want all the transition to our current issue in Liberia. And now that we understand exactly where we are, where we're standing with the referendum 2020 clause and all that stuff, I want us to at least touch base, a little bit about our current situation in Liberia, and I will be bringing Brother CEO in for that, so we can transition into that, because it's very important, because right now we want Liberia, for our people to do better in Liberia. And there are a lot of things that they need from us. Not only coming here to criticize them, but also coming here to give them some solution. So again, audience, we will take a short break. But 1 minute break. So stay tuned. We will be right back, and we'll continue, to carry on this discussion. We are here for 1 hour, but maybe based on the discussion, we might be here 1 hour, few minutes. So again, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you.
SOG. It's a busy, busy girl. Carry up. King Jaffa, see you.
I clear the tank fire. To carry the news to the woman I desire. Missing her, I will not retire. I just say she sell it, to can fly away in Batala. Beautiful to my soul. The way I feel is beyond control. Oh. I will marry you, I will wait for you. I will marry you, I will break for you. I will marry you, I will hold my side for you. I will marry you, I will marry you.
Let it sound so funny. When I hear them talking happy and you for your money. Ooh, leave it till they let them be talking. You call on the lale kata, you tell that to Londo. You tell about that to Londo. Yanga manga banga ya pepe. Imate bapanga bate wapapper. Baby kwa ya labo. Yato wapapanga bato wapapper. Baby uni kolo wale kama bukupu kiwa pepe. Baby mo,
I will marry you, I will wait for you. I will marry you, I will break for you.
I will pray for you.
I will marry you, I will hold my side for you. I will marry you, I will marry you, I will wait for you. I will live care your love, I will know. I will sing the bass, she's soprano. Cause something about you is carrying me away. And now I know, girl, I'm thinking you slow. Baby girl, you wicked. Why don't boy, am I true, sir? Anything do for your penny. I wanna all I go you, I'm stupid. Let me know when you're early. Slow quick, I am high a bit there. That I don't lie, you the big check out. Don't about you, tell the truth. I will marry you, I will wait for you. I will marry you, I will break for you. I will marry you, on my side for you. I will marry you, I will marry you, I will wait for you.
All right, again, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into One Place, One Voice. There is where Liberians be other nationalities around the continent of Africa to promote peace, love, and unity. Our audience, we really, really appreciate you a lot. I do not, take my audience for granted. So I just want to call a few names. Perry Wayne, we say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Jim S. Goode Flomo, we say thank you so much for tuning in from Liberia. We appreciate. We thank you for your hard work from Liberia, always trying to make sure that we get information up here in America. We salute you for that in Liberia. Naxim G, we say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Of course, our co-host is online. We also want to say Onero Jackson, thank you so much. Edward Kema, we thank each and every one of you guys watching us. I do not overlook, take it for granted. The audience comes first. Without you, there's no show. So again, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Again, at this time, audience, we turn the mic over to our brother Anthony C. to continue the dual citizenship question. Thank you.
James, thank you. And folks in cyberspace, we want to also appreciate you for being with us. This is One Place, One Voice. My name is Anthony C. co-hosting tonight. We have with us Mr. Emmanuel Wetty, a long-time advocate for dual citizenship. Mr. Wetty has been on the road for over 10 years, and some of his advocacy seems to be yielding some fruits here, and he's saying he would rather take something than walk away with nothing. But others disagree. And so here we are. Mr. Wetty, let's come to the aspect of enforcing this law. And this side is tricky, and you know that. So our current law, our current constitution, when you obtain citizenship of another country, you fulfill your Liberian citizenship and all other rights that come with it. So how can we enforce the law? Because if it is a law, it must be enforced. My first question to you, are you aware of the law being enforced in Liberia? I want a yes or no on this one.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And I know you cited examples. You talk about the election commission chair. Is it Kokoya?
Yes.
Jerome Kokoya?
But the key example is Dr. Elizabeth Davis.
Elizabeth Davis, and she could not be confirmed because it became known that she was holding or holds a U.S. citizenship.
She stated.
Okay,
yes.
She stated.
Yes.
So in the case of other individuals, some of whom I want to say here that you know, who were not in a position or decided not to make it known to the government, and some of them are serving in government. And so if it is a law that is enforceable, the only case, the known case we have is about this lady who made it clear that I'm a U.S. citizen. And so because of that reason, she was denied. Now, that does not exclude others who have not declared their other citizenship. And because they didn't do that, they are continuing to work. So what are the tools that we have in place as a government to enforce this particular law?
All right. Before I come to answer the question, I want to say thanks to Liberian in cyberspace. Just to let you know that I'm part of the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship that comprises of diaspora organizations, including ULA, IFLA, Koloswa, Concerned Liberian Association, Liberian in Australia and in Ghana. And we are having a convention December 6-7 in Maryland, where diaspora leaders will be meeting to discuss the same issue. So come to Maryland December 6-7 for all to discuss the issue. Yes, I'm Emmanuel S. Wetty. I've been an advocate, but I represent a group, and I'm just one of the many Liberians that support dual citizenship, just for the record. Now, you know, when you are on this platform and advocating, you advocate based on a reason, and we are saying that our reason is the law. We are not going to check other Liberians for their own reason that decide not to show that they hold American citizenship. We don't have the tools. We're not going to bother people. But what you should understand is that if for any reason you have a precedent or you have a leadership that decide to enforce the law, they will put in place the appropriate mechanism, the appropriate system and processes to identify who is a Liberian and not a Liberian. Let's be frank. There are groups in Liberia right now as we speak. When during election time, they try to find your traveling records around international airport to see how you enter the country. Some will even call the embassy and find out. All of these things are not necessary. Why can't us not change the law? Why can't we make sure that we have something in place? You speak of implementing the law. The law is there. We're not going to go around to say, do you have an American passport or do you have a Canadian passport? No, we're not going to do that. But if the government of Liberia can prove beyond all reasonable doubt that you hold a passport of another country, you cannot be elected and you cannot hold any position. We saw that with Dr. Elizabeth Davis. And let us not be fooled. Every election time comes, people in Liberia will challenge other people because they say that this person have an American passport, a French passport, a British passport, Australian passport, or Canadian passport, just to name a few. The laws are there. Why is it that only election time comes, you can hear about dual citizenship? Why? Because we don't use it until for political reason. So we are saying that in the best interest of our country and the generation yet unborn, let us accept this and we can gradually improve on it. Because the current law, as we have it right now.
Mr. Wetty, from your explanation.
And I come to your point. I come to your point about how do we implement the law? How do we put?
Yeah, well, how do we enforce this law?
Yeah, but that's what we're saying. If the law is put into place, the appropriate agency or government will meet and describe the processes to protect this country, to protect the law, to see how can implement the law. So you have to have something in place first, then you start about implementing it. So I mean, when the law is put into place, there will be guidelines written.
No, Mr. Wetty, when I say enforce the law, you argue that we don't have law. And I agree with you from the legal standpoint that we do not have a dual citizenship law. That's your argument.
Yes.
And legally, I from looking at it from the legal side, I agree with you. Okay. So when I say law, I'm talking about the current law or clause in our constitution that forbids a Liberian from being a Liberian upon obtaining citizenship of another country.
Yeah.
So I am saying, is this particular law being enforced? You say yes.
Yes.
And you started the instance of the lady who could not get confirmed because
Dr. Elizabeth Davis.
Yes, Dr. Elizabeth Davis. That she could not get confirmed because she made it known that she was a Liberian citizen. So
no, she had an American citizen.
American citizen. Yes. So the court had to make a decision, or the Senate had to make a decision. But then, if you are an American, this job is not for an American.
That's correct.
You walk away. So that is a clear example that you are using, and I think it's holding water because it is a classic case or example of how when you are a citizen of another country, you cannot obtain or cannot be confirmed for any of such position. But what we also know, Mr. Wetty, there are some Liberians, or I don't know, there are some natural born Liberians, let me put it that way, who are citizens of other countries, and whenever government whenever there's a new government, we go to Liberia to lobby for position. And when they are appointed, some of them got confirmed. And they are working all because they did not declare. So my question is that the law is clear that when you obtain citizenship of another country as a Liberian, you know more Liberian, thereby denying you the opportunity or privilege or right of obtaining certain positions. In the case of elected position, appointed position. And other Liberians are occupying this position despite of the law. So we understand that they are in violation. And if they are violating the law, who is enforcing this law?
Well, the first thing is this. I can't speak to subjective issue. If we can prove that there is somebody who holds an American passport and is working for the government, then of course we can challenge the person. Until you can do that, you have no case.
And the only instant, let me interrupt, please.
Yeah.
And the only instant here is with Mistress Davis, who was honest to have made known to the Senate and also to the country that I hold all U.S. citizenship. And so the law had to take its course. In instances where individuals are not honest enough, maybe because they feel that, look, even though I have American passport, I'm still Liberian. So nobody bring that thing here. In instances like that, it just fly. So where is the law?
Look, because if they say they are 35 miles per hour on the road, because you are driving 100 miles per hour and the police have not called you, it doesn't mean that the law does not exist.
And I agree.
You understand? So by you driving 100 miles per hour in the 35-mile zone, doesn't mean that there's no law. There is a law until you are caught.
Yeah.
So the laws are there until you are caught. Yes, I'm not going to say people are not doing that because I don't speak for everybody.
So
I want to tell you that if you are caught, if the government of Liberia can prove that you hold an American passport or you hold an American citizenship or Canadian citizenship, they will take the appropriate action on you.
Yeah, so we can conclude here, Sarah. We can conclude here that enforcing the law is a problem, and the current law now, as it is more like it's not enforceable. The Great Eastern Society here, it was dependent on an individual being so honest. That is why the law had to be applied to her. But instances where individuals refuse to make that known because they still feel that they are Liberians, it just fly. So it's more like the law is not working. And maybe it is, this might be one of the reasons you say, you know what, let's do the dual citizenship thing so that we don't have to deal with all this. And, but then again, the dual citizenship, if we should get it, it would be a little more like what we have right now, because there will be restrictions, because the current law restricts automatically. And you are agreeing that this one is better, you are not automatic or overall restricted, except that you will have some restriction. But we'll leave it there, Mr.
But yeah, but before you go, before we go, we are on a platform that a lot of Liberians looking at us. Okay. We are the new generation of leaders. Our views and our thoughts should be based on the law.
On the law, I agree.
Yeah, and we should not encourage people trying to bypass the law.
I agree.
So people coming in and doing other things, it's not something that we should encourage. Because I can tell you one thing: the day you have a leader who decides to implement the law to the letter, you have no room. And that's what I want to prevent. Do not think that because the law is not implemented, will not be done in years to come. You are better off avoiding that than to be caught when it is implemented. So we as leaders, let us speak in promoting the law. I understand your concern that somebody will do other things otherwise. I have no problem with that. But the encouragement that we should carry, because our country, and if we begin to think that the law doesn't work in Liberia, that's the issue that we have. That's why people drive the opposite way. That's why people do the things they do, because they feel the law will not hold. It's not the platform and nothing that we should build our advocacy on the law. And gradually, our people will begin to see the value of the law. Because I can tell you the truth. The day you have a president who decides, or the day the government of Liberia decides to implement the law, you have no room. So let us prevent something that will not work in our interest. So I'm appealing to everybody that let us accept this and gradually move on.
Mr. Wati, before we go to the aspect of a clean dual citizenship bill, something you initially advocated for, let's go to some nuances here. Nuance number one, President Weah. It's been reported, Wally, that he holds a U.S. citizenship. There are many reasons to believe it. Circumstantially, Mr. Weah lived in the United States for so many years where he owned a house. I'm not suggesting that foreign nationals don't own homes in the United States, but he stayed here for so long. He got married to a U.S. citizen. He had kids by a U.S. citizen who is not our first lady. And we've seen Mr. Weah's passport. Some of us have been privileged enough to see Mr. Weah's travel records. And so we can say that Mr. Weah holds a U.S. citizenship until he can prove us wrong somewhere. The same can be said about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The same can be said about Besson Garfinkel, and many other people I am not afraid to name. These are the nuances. And these people enjoy all of the rights that come with being a Liberian, despite them being in contravention of the law legally. The man is our president. He holds a citizenship of another country. Ellen held a citizenship of another country when she was still our president. So if the law is not being enforced for the law to be what the law was intended to do, why not a clean dual citizenship bill so that we don't have to worry about all these technicalities?
Well, the first thing is this, and for the record, I'm not aware, I cannot prove that the president we are holds or nationality of another country. I cannot prove, and I'm not aware of President Sirleaf. I cannot prove, and I'm not aware of Besson Garfinkel holding another citizenship. I'm not aware, and I cannot prove these things. As an advocate, my ground, I stand with the law. What I cannot prove, I cannot advocate on that. My subjective and emotional view or expression or thinking cannot be put forward in my advocacy. So I'm not going to question the resources that you have to determine whether this person is American or not. I'm not going to question that because I don't know what you did. But I'm saying, for the record, I cannot say these people are American citizens because I don't have no proof. And we have the Supreme Court. If you believe and that you claim that you have the proof, you can go to the Supreme Court and challenge those people. You know, I mean, what you think and what you feel, only the Supreme Court is there. I mean, you can go to court. But for me, I want to say for the record that I'm not aware and I have no proof that somebody is working in the Liberian government and have a citizenship of another country. Until then, I remain with the law and I stick by the law.
One more nuance, James, hold on. One more nuance is the case of Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. I don't know if you've been paying attention or not, Mr. Wetty.
Yeah.
Mr. Cummings at some point said he is a Liberian who having to be holding a U.S. passport, unquote. He contested in our presidential election. The way the Liberian Constitution is written, Article 28 that we are debating, the fact that Mr. Cummings confirmed that he holds a U.S. passport by interpretation that you believe, he is not qualified to contest for the Liberian presidency. But
well, until you can go to the Supreme Court, because let me just let's play devil advocate. You don't know if Mr. Cummings renounced his other citizenship. You are not aware. But until you can challenge Mr. Cummings, until you can challenge President Weah, until you can challenge President Sirleaf in the court of law, until you can do that, you have no case. Because the burden of proof is not on President Weah to show that he's a friend. It's on you. The burden of proof is not on Mr. Cummings. It's on you. Yeah. The burden of proof is not on President Sirleaf. It's on you. So you will have to make the case at the Supreme Court.
And so then,
until you can make the case, we all can sit there for another 50 hours and say, "Oh, Opo is a French citizen. Oh, Eddie Johnson is an American citizen. This person." That's a dancing chair we all can do, which is fine. But As we're speaking to our people and we talk about new Liberia, let us speak with the law, by the law, and for the law. Our assumption and subjective view should not be perpetrated in the national discussion.
Mr. Worthy, thank you. This is One Place, One Voice. I'm also here co-hosting. We have Mr. James Nohan. James, what are you thinking of? What's going through your mind?
Mr. Wedge said he said something that I like, and what I always preaching because most of the time, when they come to my heart, I always, come on air and put it out there. And it's called a new age, new generation. He's right. We are the new age. He said something that I want to point out too that we should try to encourage our Liberians to have this new age mentality. That is, we trying to really, to eliminate corruption in Liberia. So one thing I was saying, when you said a new age, I just want to bring this up, and I know it might be a little bit contrary, but let me just bring it out because he talked about the new age, mindset, and I really agree with him. We want to make sure that our Liberians understand that we are going for new Liberia, and they have to understand that there's laws that are going to be put in place. The new age are saying that we're going to make sure law be followed in Liberia. Want to make sure that we start to obey law of the land because there is one of the main barriers that we have in Liberia. And I can see the point, from our brother CA, that he's trying to make because of these things. There are a lot of things going on. Leaders in the government not following laws, but they want to restrict, Liberian in the diaspora to restrict them, on a paper. And again, meanwhile, we don't want to throw our brother effort through the window because he fought very hard for 10 years to make sure that this thing come to existence, and we'll see his fruit coming to our life, So, we're giving the benefit of the doubt, we pray that everything goes through. But there is a thing. There's how I see things in Liberia, and I really strongly believe that we all, not just one, person, I was saying something the last time about a Wetty. I just want you to tell me what it is, Like I said, I want to go contrary a little bit. I was saying that president in Liberia, because of all the dual citizenship thing that going on, we pray that we have it. But my new age mindset was like, president shouldn't get no access to money. That's what I was saying.
Let us not go off track.
I don't better I want to go off track, but okay, it's okay. Well, anyway,
plan to be here up to 9:30.
Yes.
The time,
yeah,
so
you're right. Okay, so let me just come back for Brother C to give a last statement to tonight's show for the dual citizenship. That we have in process for 2020, and then it will be followed by our brother Wetty to give a closing remark, and then we'll be closing the city of audience. Do not go nowhere because we're going to have some music playing, to close you up. So again, brother C, it's time over to you.
Thank you, James, and folks in cyberspace following us here at One Place, One Voice. My name is Anson here co-hosting tonight. We have Mr. Emmanuel Wetty, a long-time advocate for dual citizenship.
That's right. That's right.
Mr. Wetty, you see him there, he's smiling. He say, "Hey, my man, I got something. Something is better than nothing." Others are saying, "No, Wetty, you and I were in Tamahara, we went to school. Just because we came to America, you're telling me, as a senator." And for that is why we are discussing here tonight. It's our pleasure that you have joined us. Mr. Wetty, this is our last segment. We have gone here and there looking at registration, what the law is, what the proposal is, what registration and all that. A clean dual citizenship bill, meaning that Liberian, whether you obtain citizenship or another country, the fact that you were born to at least a parent who having to be a Liberian, you are a Liberian no matter whatever citizenship you acquire. What is wrong with that? You said it here and inform us that the state of Israel has it. Even though you justify because they were being persecuted, they left, they were coming back. So a more like a Clement said, hey, I don't think that is because they left and they were coming back. It's the fact that they still see each other as Israelis. And they agreed that once you are Israeli, you will remain an Israeli no matter what happened in the past. What's wrong with us having a clean dual citizenship bill? And then we'll put all the argument to rest. Because mind you, I'm from Southtown. When I go home, the people don't see American in me.
Nope.
What's wrong with that, Mr. Wati?
Mr. C, I agree with you. I agree with you that it's a goal. It's something to reach out to. But I want to say one thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I agree with you. I have no problem. But I just want to say the path of achieving such a thing is not an event, it's a process. It's incremental. We will do it gradually. We, in this generation of leadership, we want to get our foot into the door. We want to regain our Liberian citizenship. We want to be able to own the land. We want a woman to be able to pass the citizenship to her children. There are other advocates that will come after us when we have gone, and they will take that. So this is a gradual process. We are just in one of the phases of the entire stretch. So yes, another generation will come and say, look, we're going to do this. And these things are possible. But the first thing, we got to get into the door. We have to first restore our Liberian citizenship. If you're not a Liberian, you can't even go further. That's the first thing. Even before you have a clean dual citizenship bill, you must first be a Liberian. So let us start from that, and we can do gradual steps, and one day, who knows the future? It's possible. Maybe it may not be my generation, it could be another generation, maybe it could be me, I don't know. But my brother, restoring our Liberian citizenship is a first step.
I have one yes or no question for you.
Yes, sir.
If you were given the authority to decide for Liberians who hold citizenship of other country to get a clean dual citizenship bill, and they gave you that pen, will you sign it?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Folks, this is One Place, One Voice. My name is Anthony Sie. We've had Mr. Emmanuel Weti, a proponent of the dual citizenship bill, except that he's only getting something and not getting every right that comes with being a citizen of a country. Mr. Weti is saying he'd rather have something than nothing. Mr. Weti, the question that comes to mind is, why are you not thinking big? You feel a Liberian, right? So
yes,
why not be a Liberian 100%?
Well, I feel big, but I believe that, look, there are laws on the book. The law is saying currently I'm not a Liberian. If I hold an American passport or Canadian passport or British passport, I'm not a Liberian. So if I want to make any change, I must first restore my Liberian citizenship. That is the key. The key point is that regain your Liberian citizenship. You are now a Liberian. And if you're not a Liberian, how can you determine what next? So this is a process, another event. These are incremental steps. These are different phases. These are very different stages. First thing first, regain your Liberian citizenship first. Regain your right to own land. Regain your political right to vote. Regain the right of a woman to pass her citizenship to a child. And then you can begin to look for other things. You are not a Liberian. How can you look? I'll give you before. Let's close on this one. If you're not in the house, you're outside the house, and you come to your father. The father says, "Okay, look, say you left the house. We have done some things there. You can come in the house, but you can live in the basement." And you want to argue that you can live in the other room? First, get into the house. You can't be outside and determine. Get into the house. When you are in the house and living in the basement, as time go by, you can begin to alter things in the house.
And Mr. Weti, what is wrong with me saying, okay, Dad, I am your son. I know I left for some time. And this is my house too, because I am your son.
But I see it.
So I'm coming in the house. I don't want anybody to tell me, stay in the basement, don't go in that room, don't turn on the TV. So what kind of law is my father?
Brother, see it.
Yes.
Your father did not say you can come in the house. Your
Okay.
father is saying, since you left the house, things have changed, things have happened. My son, come in the house and let us live together, and gradually we can make necessary adjustment. But for now, the only room that is available now is the one in the basement. What are you gonna be? You'll be outside in the rain?
I think that's clear.
All right. Mr. Wetty is
You'll
saying,
be outside in the rain?
somebody will say no. Somebody will argue that no, I want to have access to all the rooms in the house.
Well, okay, then you'll be outside in the rain. It's raining, it's snowing. You'll be outside?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wetty. At this time, we will ask for your
Before we
closing.
close, I just want to say thank you to the staff, and also thanks to the leadership of the All-Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. I want to say our audience, we have a convention in Maryland, December 6th, 7th. Come and support us, because we are preparing for Referendum 2020. We need your support, and may God bless you all as we go along in this thing. Thank you very much.
Folks, that was the voice of Mr. Emmanuel Wetty, an advocate for dual citizenship in Liberia. My name is Ansonin Sier, co-hosting with Mr. James Nohan here at One Place, One Voice. Our topic today has been dual citizenship in Liberia. As it is right now, the current constitution of Liberia, Article 1, when you obtain citizenship of another country, you automatically cease to be a Liberian and all the rights and privileges thereof. That is Mr. Wetty's argument, even though others agree. Mr. Wetty also informed us that now that we have a proposal that will be voted on next year, the proposal was passed in both houses. The president has affixed a signature. That proposal will restore your Liberian citizenship. It will allow you to own land, other properties, and other rights, but there are restrictions. Some of the restrictions are you will now run for the office of president, vice president, the House of Representatives, and senator. You will not be allowed to be appointed to key position in government, minister proper, deputy minister, and other positions. Some Liberians are saying that law is discriminatory. Mr. Wetty said, at least you got something. Get your foot in the house, you can talk to your father, and then you will be given access later on. That has been the conversation here at One Place, One Voice with Mr. Wetty. Mr. Wetty, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you, and let's do this again another time.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the time. And thanks everybody in cyberspace. Thank you. And thank the platform to my host. Thank you.
Okay. And folks in cyberspace, my name is Anthony Sier. Mr. James Lohan, the Executive Director of One Place, One Voice. Mr. James?
Yes. I'm here.
Mr. James, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much, Mr. James.
Oh, no problem. I want to say thank you, Mr. Wetty, before you leave. I just want to say this. Thank you so much, for coming on this line tonight to just, clarify our people, because like Brother Sia said, there's a lot of emotion going on, and I think you couldn't say it more than what you just said here tonight. And people who have a rational mind, I think they will begin to understand exactly what you said. But I see it. I just don't want to ignore this this audience, Mr. George Toto. I don't want you to go to think that I ignore what he said here. When you talk about Kwemi's owner citizenship, he said Mr. Kwemi's later on denied the statement that he holds U.S. citizenship before embarking on his political journey in Liberia. I just want to make that clear so you can, understand. So it can be ignored. But again, folks, you are tuned into One Play, One Voice. There is where Liberia meet other nationalities around the continent of Africa to promote peace, love, and unity, bringing back our African tradition to the USA.
Mr. Wetty, bye-bye.
Our platform is for everyone. So we say thank you so much, folks. We want to stay tuned. We're going to play some music. And that's how we end the show tonight. And we hope that you'll be here next time. Mr. Wetty, thank you so much and have a very good night, okay?
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, brother. See it. Thank you so much.
Okay. See you guys in Maryland, December 6th, 7th.
Réveillons nos consciences.
Chers Guinéens et Guinéennes, donnons-nous la main afin de faire avancer notre cher pays, la Guinée. Si seulement nous essayons tous de travailler ensemble, nous ferons bien de la Guinée la meilleure des nations. Oh yeah. Chers Guinéens et Guinéennes, donnons-nous la main afin de faire avancer notre cher pays, la Guinée. Si seulement nous essayons tous de travailler ensemble, nous ferons bien de la Guinée la meilleure des nations. Oh yeah. Ce que tu fais de valeur aujourd'hui, oh yeah, inspire les actions des autres dans le futur. Oh yeah. Ce que tu fais de valeur aujourd'hui, oh yeah, inspire les actions des autres dans le futur. Oh yeah. Ensemble nous pouvons, ensemble nous pouvons, ensemble nous pouvons, ensemble nous pouvons. Chers Guinéens et Guinéennes, donnons-nous la main afin de faire avancer notre cher pays, la Guinée. Si seulement nous essayons tous de travailler ensemble, nous ferons bien de la Guinée la meilleure des nations. Oh yeah. C'est vrai qu'il n'est pas facile de se développer tout seul, mais je parie, je ferai qu'ensemble nous pourrons bien le faire. Oh yeah. Ce que tu fais de valeur aujourd'hui, oh yeah, inspire les actions des autres dans le futur. Oh yeah. Ce que tu fais de valeur aujourd'hui, oh yeah, inspire les actions des autres dans le futur. Oh yeah. Ce que tu fais de valeur aujourd'hui, oh yeah, inspire les actions des autres dans le futur. Oh yeah. Ensemble nous pouvons, ensemble nous pouvons, ensemble nous pouvons.
SOG. It's a busy. Busy girl. Carry the
King Jaffa, see you. I clear the top fire. To carry the news to the woman I desire. Missing her, I will not retire. I just said she sell it, took a fly away in Batala. Beautiful to my soul. The way I feel is beyond control. Oh, I will not marry you, I will wait for you. I will not marry you, I will break for you. I will not marry you, I will hold my side for you. I will not marry